All right, here we go, gang. It's episode 60. Luke Stones from the Motus Projects, from Brewman, from Life, and you can find his links and everything in the description if you want to learn more about this young man. He's a big up-and-coming athlete. He's been doing a lot of big stuff. He's been traveling the world. He's been, you know, it's crazy to have like these friends from all over the parts of the world with parkour, but he's you know, visited Colorado several times, and he's become kind of integrated with our community in a really fun way, and we're thankful to have him on the podcast. Thank you guys for supporting us. Remember to sub the script, get all that sub stuff, get all the 5-star reviews. You know what to do. You listen to podcasts, you know what the fuck's going on, right? So pardon my French there for a second, and let's go ahead and jump into it. Luke Stones. Quick disclaimer, I was mad tired. I had a long work day, and sometimes you just don't get the full energy out of me, all right? So I don't know if I haven't listened to this one yet, but I remember just being tired as shit during the episode, so I apologize to Luke for maybe being a little bit under the the baseline when it comes to the amount of energy I try to bring to this podcast. But I think it was kind of nice. I remember being kind of chilled out, so maybe you had a nice chill episode, you know? Maybe you guys are in the mood for that, and if you ain't, well, you just do your next thing, okay? Don't worry about it. But I appreciate everyone being a part of this one. I encourage you to check out the links and follow this young man, Luke Stones. For someone who's like, what is he? I think he's only 18. He's quite wise, and you know, that's the kind of thing that parkour gets you potentially. Who knows? But it's the kind of wisdom you wouldn't expect necessarily from someone so young. So appreciate Luke coming out. Appreciate everything coming. The next episode we're gonna have Andrew Obenredder on. He just put out the first Move mag, so look out for that. Make sure you're subbed for that. I'm out. I'll leave you guys into this episode. Here we go. All right, we're just gonna get this thing popping with well, 21. So we'll probably get pulled off the tubes. Whatever. I actually like this song a lot.
Do you get like copyright on this?
Dude, I'm just waiting for them to find me, you know?
Yeah.
Like they haven't said shit yet. Actually,
how much money you got? How much money you
they I get a YouTube copyright claim on every video basically because I always have a song. But I don't care. I'm not getting enough views where I'm like worried about the revenue. So like, yeah, I'm just like, you know what? I'd rather set the vibe for now. We'll worry about the music when we have to.
If you like, I think there's like a thing that's like if you make it like a certain time, it's like if the music lasts like a certain time, then it gets triggered for the copyright thing. But if it's like short enough, then it doesn't get like captured.
I think you're right about that. I'm gonna take these off actually because now I can hear this too. Well, we got to stay inside. Maybe it's is it a 1 minute and 6 second window? Because we just made it.
I think it's way shorter than that.
Yeah, it's like definitely like 14 seconds and a half. Yeah. But maybe we're disguising it with our voices. We can camouflage the actual recording of it.
This is our remix.
Sorry, I'm gonna get a little OCD here.
You could take it as that, to be honest. You could say it was like your own remix.
Yeah, it was my own remix, you know? I was rapping over 21 Savage. He's from Britain, allegedly, though, now.
Yeah.
Is this what...
This is the news.
We don't know I don't even know the story of it. I guess you can't believe anything you read online anyways, it seems like.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't even know where to look. Like, where's a reliable source to find 21 Savage's actual origins?
It's that whole thing. They said, like, if you read the paper, you're misinformed. If you don't read the paper at all, you're uninformed.
What would you rather be? Misinformed or uninformed?
Yeah, I don't know. Uninformed, maybe. Then you don't have to worry about it. It's not part of your day,
Ignorance is bliss, at least.
You're
right?
not thinking about it while
misinformed.
you're at work or whatever.
I guess maybe you could just be misinformed, and then then you could have your own opinions. But then you're spending your time thinking about what they want you to think about.
Yeah.
I want to think about what I want to think about.
And if you saw like 2 different articles, you'd be so confused like the whole day.
Yeah, I'm sure there's one article. There's at least a source out there that's like, no, 21 Savage is American, and all of whatever he said was true. Who knows? You know what? The music speaks for itself, guys. And by that I mean it's good, but it's not brilliant. Let's be honest.
21's music.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's brilliant on a level that only the people who probably wrote and produced it really understand.
It's actually quite ironic because like the one you played, I've actually been listening to like quite a lot recently.
Yeah, it's called a lot.
Yeah,
it's a good one to listen to a lot.
I have actually been listening to that one.
Well, it's really well like produced, you know.
It got stuck in my head like maybe like a week ago.
I don't know what happened to my subwoofer, but oh, there it goes. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like that is poetry, but it's not Henry David Thoreau or whatever. Or like it's not a Shakespeare per se.
He's not under the. You'd say he's still under the American rap making.
I don't know, man. It's and it's all contemporary. It's all like what is it? What is it even? That's what's hot right now.
Yeah,
and like, it's kind of hard to shit on it without even knowing. Maybe Shakespeare was just like gadoosh, like during his time. It seems like he put more effort into it, but
I think like the real problem behind it is like everybody's so overreacting of it. Like, oh my gosh, he's English, but like, what difference does that make against like his lyrics and like his rap? Like,
yeah,
people have been like, oh, I'm not gonna listen to 21 Savage anymore. Like why? Like his music hasn't changed. His like lyrics hasn't changed. His like thought process behind it hasn't changed.
Yeah. It's just he's an artist. Yeah, you got to kind of take them for what they are. It's like there's more important things to think about. It's like they're trying to get you to pay attention to shit that doesn't matter. Like we were saying before, they're trying to keep you misinformed.
Yeah, although I did love like all the memes. And like all the
I didn't even
jokes
see it. I'm
made.
like so out of touch with some of that shit these days. I gotta get like I'm purposely remove myself from most of this conversation. Like, you know what? I just want to listen to the song and enjoy it. I don't really want to worry about where he's from anymore.
Yeah, some of the stuff that was said is so funny.
Like what?
Like Lord 21 the First. Lord.
That royalty.
Lord 21 the Savage or something. Yeah, royalty.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, that is a lot. There's lots of poke fun out there because you guys still have a monarchy. Although we're close. We're
close to a monarchy.
We're getting there. That's what there's whispers. That's what Trump's trying to put into action.
He's going to become your king.
He's going to try to become like the king of America.
Oh no.
That's what, people are predicting.
Vote for Trump.
No, there's no voting in this. It's just him just wanting to be king.
Can he do that? Could he just?
He absolutely will try. Maybe. We don't know.
Call a national state of emergency.
I mean,
he did that for the war.
That's what he did. Yeah.
He'll do that for the
it is a
monarchy.
Fucking nightmare trying to follow politics these days.
Oh yeah.
I don't.
I'm not even like Brexit is like so big, like all around the world. Yeah, I'm like it's my own country, and I'm still like not really in touch about it.
Yeah, that's not weird. It's like, yeah, I would ask you about Brexit. You'd probably be like, what's up with Trump? And I'd be like, dude, I don't have time to pay attention to that shit. Like,
yeah, I don't know. Like,
what do you?
They've had the no deal Brexit, which has gone on recently, and so we still want to leave the EU, but we haven't made our mind up on how we want to do it yet. So we're gonna ask for another extension and Theresa May is gonna run over to Belgium again, try and get a good deal. Come home and everyone will probably reject it again, and I'm hoping like all this will cause it to be cancelled, but it's probably not going to happen.
I think it's a weird time to be alive. I think everyone's kind of like in that position. All these countries are kind of in the gray, flaking on. Yeah, I don't know. That's flaking. It's getting flaky out here.
I saw the whole thing about Trump and North Korea.
What's that?
Apparently there's like now they went to like a summit in Vietnam or something, and they met and they spoke, and Trump was basically saying to Kim Jong-un, he was like, I want you like to take all your nuclear projects and like just throw them out the window, like close them all down. And they were just like, nah, yeah, like we're not really doing that. And so Trump like kind of lost the deal, and like as soon as Trump came home, apparently they've like started building missiles and stuff.
Well, we can all at least pray for the apocalypse, because that's obviously where we're headed.
It's coming
just
soon.
Just more weapons, please.
Yeah, that is literally like one of the Earth's greatest like risks, like nuclear war for sure.
You know, you remember Max Lee Abbott? He was on here for a while. He's
Yeah.
like a super. He's
This
super
dude is
into
crazy.
that.
This dude is
He's
crazy.
in like a whole history.
Have you seen his like rope swing stuff in Australia?
Oh my god, dude! I want to do that shit so bad.
Well, like yeah.
I want to rig.
But at the same time, it just looks so like petrifying.
I don't doubt that it is. For me, that stuff is always a good time. I think I have a little touch of the Alex Honnold, where I'm just like I have an extreme threshold for excitement sometimes.
I feel like I'd feel safe if I knew it was like some professional like rope master that like put it together. For like just knowing that it's just like your boys are like
I don't want to go first. I don't like it. I want to see somebody who's heavier than me send it a few times, and then I'll be like, okay.
Yeah, do they send like a rock
or
first?
Understand it? I think they really understand the ropes and like rigging and stuff.
Yeah,
like you said, it is pretty scary. I would want to get real knowledgeable. I would want to like understand exactly what these knots are, what they're all doing.
Oh yeah, you'd like want to know if there was like backups, safety, like precautions.
They have
almost.
all that, yeah. Though it's all backed up at least once.
But yeah, the clip on, I saw the clip on his Instagram, and he was literally falling for like 5, 6 seconds.
Yeah, he was tracking away from the wall.
100-meter free fall. It just looks like unreal. It's literally like simulation of falling from a building, like falling to your death.
Yeah,
like
that's wild stuff, and that's almost more intense.
Yeah,
than anything, right? I mean, proximity wingsuit flying. That's the most high death rate. That's probably the craziest thing you can do. Still.
Oh yeah.
Like the ability to fly like and be next to things, so you can actually get a sense of your speed. I think that's probably my dream, and also my, if I went into it, it'd probably be what killed me.
Yeah, I've heard like half. I heard they were in like 1 year, half of the community like died from sport or something. There was like, because you need to like do a load of skydiving before you get
you talk to anyone in that and
be able to do wingsuiting. And I heard like there was only a certain amount of people who could do wingsuiting on Earth, and like in 1 year, half of them like just died from wingsuiting. And it was like, yeah, this sport is just like so savage. Just because they want to get closer and closer, isn't it? You just want to.
Yeah. I mean, it's just pushing it. Like, imagine like where we're pushing things in parkour, right? No one.
You're not playing with like.
We're playing with
100 miles an hour. Like,
well, with the sense and stuff, people have brought it up. I'm gonna be the first to bring it up. It's like you're at risk,
dude. There's a video.
It's only a matter of time before somebody.
I don't know if you've seen it, but there's
something bad.
There's a video of a dude in my area, and he literally does this descent. He does like a turn vault, and it's like railings going down. And he's like holding onto the railings, and one of them fully like just not welded properly, snaps off, and like luckily he held on like with the other hand, but he's like leaning back like off this descent like with one of these like metal girders like in his hand. God. And just hanging on for like dear life with the other one, and like lucky enough like both of them weren't.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like,
how high up is he?
But he was high, like death height for sure. It was like stories.
Dude, how was that? Did you see that Max Store cave? I saw that in
Bale.
Oh
yeah. The like the back flop.
The back, like
the proper,
that was one of the most savage bales I've ever seen.
Yeah, I wanted to see the aftermath. You could see that he was like knocked out.
Oh yeah, he didn't wake up he didn't have memories for at least like a few days, right? He had airlifted out.
He got put in an induced coma.
Whoa.
Like they said like he was out for like 30 seconds. Like they called the ambulance. They got airlifted to hospital and put in an induced coma. And like we've never heard about this. Like
I was like, whoa, it's blown
just
away.
Happened, yeah.
Yeah, this is just.
Apparently he was like training in like 2 weeks. Just because it wasn't like a physical injury. It just been knocked out, and his brain had just been like, I don't know. It's like mental activity, isn't it?
That stuff's scary. That's all I'm saying. And all I'm saying is like we are playing with some of the same stuff that, we are much more in control as parkour athletes. We can almost control every variable because it doesn't have to happen at speed other than the ones we create. And we can check all of our things for the most part. Like you can't.
Yeah. I always think like if I'm a parkour athlete, then like probably the most risk of death that is going to happen to me is going to be height. Like that's probably the most likely cause of death if I was to die through parkour.
Yeah.
That's always a strange thing to think about. Like when you're up high, it's like, oh yeah, like I wonder. Like I've been training for like 7 years. 7 years this month.
Mm-hmm.
People like most people I know have been training for like around the same, bit less, sometimes more. But like I don't know. I don't think I've ever met anybody with like 20 years of training. Do you know anybody with 20 years of training?
Oh, I mean, well, like there's some of the OGs, like the founders and stuff.
Yeah.
And like,
but if you
Johan LaRue is pretty close probably by now.
Yeah. If we were like in our lifetimes though, I'm like 18 now. If I do parkour till I'm at least like 40, like if I do parkour, if I stick in the community till I was 40, like will we witness like one person in the community like die, or like how many people are going to be?
I hope not. Obviously, I hope not. But I also think that like, I mean, we witnessed. We haven't. Well, there was that one Russian dude, Slava, right? That fell off like a 16-story building, doing like a backflip on the edge of one. That was basically the only person that I can remember thus far that's been relatively well known in the community. That
I mean, I didn't know him, but like, I didn't
know him either.
Yeah,
I just know that like he had enough of a following that it hit the community like in a way that was impactful, because he knew he was a real practitioner. There was other people that have, well, and of course like there's people that have been like in the news for that are adjacent to parkour, but they weren't actually training, or they weren't people that ever trained.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't know. It's probably, it's one of those things, like people die in any sport.
Yeah.
And so really, I'm not saying that parkour is like more dangerous. Really what I'm interested in is finding out like where does it lie? And sometimes in regards to this stuff, is it, you look at the head injuries, for example. Like I've had head injuries. I've had 3 concussions in my life. 1 of them from snowboarding and 2 from training in parkour. And the snowboarding concussion was the worst one, but the parkour bail that I had most recently that gave me concussion was probably like the most potential for serious injury that I've ever had.
And did you have like helmet on when you did the snowboarding one?
No
helmet.
No helmet.
Yeah,
that wasn't smart of me.
Yeah, you know about like the whole Michael Schumacher thing?
No, what's that?
He's like the famous Formula One driver. He's like he was out skiing and he crashed, and like he had a helmet. I think it was like he had a GoPro mount on his helmet actually, and like that's what actually pierced the helmet. Like
what?
Because the GoPro mount was like stuck on the helmet, and they like hit a rock, and because like apparently the GoPro mount created like a vulnerable point on the helmet that actually like
caved it in. Yeah, like because it was like a puncture. It like it pressurized
it created like a weak point in the helmet, and that's what like gave him such a bad concussion. He's like brain dead pretty much. Like
Jesus.
I know, like
but see, that's like that freak accident shit. That almost always makes me want to throw all of this conversation out the window. It's like, all right, well, anything could happen at any time. That's why you got to live to the fullest. That's why you got to wingsuit proximity fly.
Yeah, for sure.
Doesn't matter. Because
but he's like it's like one of the biggest medical bills like in history apparently. Like
really?
Yeah, they've like made all his healthcare like private at his house, so like it's very like private, and like he has privacy. And but apparently he's just like he's still in a wheelchair after like it was years ago, it was like 2008, but like he's still in a wheelchair, like unable to walk, and they're like really trying to get him to come back to like how he was, and they want him to like even race again and stuff like that. It's kind of interesting.
That's wild. I mean, hopefully it makes a recovery. I mean, like with the thing, like with Max's injury, falling from that height, basically landing straight on your dome, that could take you out. That could take somebody out. That could absolutely kill somebody. That's all I'm saying is like, it's just crazy that,
Yeah. If he was like in a slightly different angle, and maybe like if it bent his neck back, like broke his neck, like you
even just the impact, like, the swelling in the brain. Some people have died from a lot less, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
People die all the time in the streets from getting into like street fights. They get knocked out,
and then they hit the concrete,
and then they fall over and hit their head on the concrete.
Yeah,
and it's usually that second one that kills them. But like, maybe it's the conjunction of the two things. But it's Yeah, it's dangerous.
I wonder if if he didn't get airlifted to hospital and didn't get put in the induced coma, maybe he would be worse. I think
Yeah, it's miraculous that he's he seemed to have made like recovery in 2 weeks or whatever. Maybe it's like a strength of will. Maybe it's like the way that his brain works even is just different, and you're less susceptible than other people.
Yeah.
It's so hard to know because there's so much that's unknown about the brain. But that's why we probably shouldn't talk about it, because what the fuck do we know?
We're not neurologists.
I'm not a neurological engineer or scientist of any sorts. Have you ever had a concussion?
It's one of those things you say, what? I don't remember. I can't remember. Yeah, it's one of those funny things. No, I don't think I have. Maybe I've had a light one, but I've never had a serious one. I've got a few head scars. I remember when I was 3, I was in nursery. It's your kindergarten, right? And we were playing tag and running around these rows of tables, and I was the same height as one of these tables, and I just fully cooked myself into the corner, head to corner of a table, and I was just gushing blood. My dad had to come pick me up and take me to hospital. And then I was playing football at my grandparents' house, and they have this wall that we created the goal as, and I ran into the wall. But never from really parkour that I've had concussion. I had the big facial scar.
Oh yeah,
the big face pump bail.
Remember that?
But that wasn't didn't have a concussion. It wasn't a bang. It was a grinding.
Yeah, that was a cheese grating.
Yeah, that was a cheese grating for sure.
Incident. That was funny. I mean, funny because you made a full recovery and you were just casual about it afterwards. We knew you were okay, but
yeah, I actually got a date from that. It's
a nice icebreaker, you know,
yeah.
Who doesn't want to take care of some,
I posted it on Instagram, and then she messaged me and she was I saw you on Instagram, and then I was met up with her, had a date with her.
Hey, how'd it go?
Yeah, went well.
Where is she now?
I saw her again, but not now.
The sparks didn't fly fully.
Yeah.
What can you do?
Yeah, crazy one.
You see it? You got a girlfriend right now, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I haven't got a girlfriend. I'm seeing somebody. Might turn out into a relationship. I don't really know.
Cool.
Just kind of chilling it right now, taking it easy.
Chilling it. Hey, big
it's not
chillin'.
Desperate.
It's a big chilling life out here.
Just enjoying stuff.
Yeah, it's a good thing to be enjoying. Yeah, I mean, first of all, not first of all, Jesus. 20 minutes into it here. You're here because you're on your way to Hawaii. You're traveling around.
Yeah, I'm doing doing a lot of traveling while I'm young. I think I'm trying to move about when I'm young. I think when I'm older, I have more responsibilities. You're already seeing it.
I can attest to that.
Giles is really trying to not travel so much. He's been just traveling so much this past few years, and he has a dog now. He has Sarah. Good old Sarah. We miss you guys. I hope they come through. I hope they travel through here if they do end up traveling. Yeah, I think he just wants to spend some more time at home. He's running away too much. He's trying to settle down. Yeah, it's quite nice. And I imagine I'll be the same when I'm his age.
Rip it up when you're younger, man.
For sure. So I'm trying to do some stuff when I'm young.
Hey man, well there's no better place to do it.
Yeah,
jumping around.
Boulder, Colorado.
I didn't mean there. I just meant I think that's one of the best things about being a parkour athlete, especially a sponsored parkour athlete, is you get to travel so much. Yeah. You get to see the world, and you get to interact with it and engage with the environment and the people in a way that's really special.
Yeah, and a lot of the work that I get paid for is predominantly online. I can do it from
what is it?
At the moment, I've got half how I'm making my money at the moment. I'm doing parkour coaching at home whenever I'm home. Really, I'm doing reserve classes and coaching with the OG Scott Jackson. You know Scott Jackson?
I I do know the name. I can't put a name to the face or face to the name right now.
He's like a urban free flow.
Oh yeah,
old athlete.
Super old school though.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I know the name is like important.
Yeah,
in,
literally
like, the history, but I
literally like
can't keep track of everything. These
yeah,
days.
I started training. I started going to Scott Jackson's classes, and like he like taught me, because I was just really into flips at first, and he taught me like all the parkour fundamentals. And like he cleaned up my flips. Like my flips were so messy. Like actually like took the flips I could do and like cleaned them up, made sure I was doing them properly, safely, stuff like that. And now I'm coaching for him now. Like I'm coaching the same class that I was originally in, which is pretty dope. So yeah, when I'm home, I do that. I'm also helping out with like Motus, doing a lot of like the advertising stuff, marketing stuff.
Yeah. Sick.
Creating
Motus.
videos, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And also doing a lot of like social media work as well, like getting a lot of influencer work.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I don't know if like it's.
What is that like exactly? Because
yeah, like
what is the influencer?
I don't know if it's what I like. It's making that like borderline, like what collaborations you take and like what you don't. I know like basic collaborations which like quite good for what you believe in, like your morals. Like if it's like a water brand that wants to do like a collaboration, if it's
you
like,
can't hate on water.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fucking water. All right, we're all made of it. We need it.
If you're doing like collaboration with like clothing brands, it's like cool. But yeah, just like any weird ones, I budget, like I give them like a really high quote. Like I don't really want to do them.
What's a weird one that you've gotten?
I don't know. Like I mean, not really like social media influencing, but I remember like this dude sent me an email like, oh, we want to take like barefoot pictures of you.
Barefoot pictures?
Yeah, like
sounds a little like a fetish.
Just going, and he like
just
gave
barefoot
a load of
photos.
Yeah, like so weird. Like he gave me like a portfolio of like what like similar photos that he'd got, and like there was actually like one of my friends on there that I'd like recognized.
Really?
Yeah, he's in the parkour community. That's quite weirded out about. I'm not gonna drop names, but yeah.
Well, what kind of money are we talking here? I'll fucking send some fucking feet photos to some.
I mean, I
dude.
quoted high. Like the photos they sent me, it was just like laying down on the bench, just like shoes off, and like
laying down on a bench, shoes off.
just like sitting down.
Where do these photos go?
Cross-legged, like in the park and stuff. Yeah, that's what I'd be like worried about. What happens to these?
I mean,
photos?
it's just your feet,
do they get put on like Tumblr and Twitter and like hashtag like?
Let some people fucking rub themselves to your feet, man. What do you care?
Yeah, I mean, like I quoted,
I wouldn't give a shit if I get paid for foot photos. I don't really care actually about that one.
Yeah,
I might sign up for that. I don't know. Maybe the email's creepy.
I think I quoted like at least like £500+, like just for like I think I quoted like something like £800 or something. Yeah, like nearly $1,000. Just
give me some money, man. These are some hot dogs.
They never replied. I don't think they were interested. Well. But yeah, it's kind of weird, like selling your account, especially if it's like weird stuff. Yeah, like one I've been asked to do recently is like this travel brand want me to like do a whole Instagram post and like some stories about their travel brand and like saying how like I can travel with their brand and stuff, which I'm gonna do. But yeah, it's just don't know if it's what I want to be using my social media for.
It's tough,
but
right?
it's just like because
it's your brand.
But like I'm trying to do parkour, and it does like at the end of the day it means that I can like go to other places and like still do parkour at the end of the day, so I can actually like put out some real stuff for my followers. Like if my followers don't pay me, like at least like is it okay if I post like 1 or 2 advertisements here and there?
Yeah.
And like I know it's like they may not definitely want to see them, like they're just going to see them and be like, yeah, it's kind of a cop out, but like that's
it's such a weird dynamic that like we're all like people are always treading that line of I guess it's up to each individual, like you said, and just follow your gut. Yeah,
like parkour's not big enough at the moment, is it? It's like this is how parkour athletes are gonna have to survive. Like I know it may like suck for now, but like once parkour's more founded, then we can reject these things and make money like just doing parkour. But like right now in the industry, I think it's not for real, really. It's not really possible.
Yeah, and it's
especially for like an athlete like me. Like I'm sponsored and like I'm lucky than most people are, but still I'm not from Motus and like Brewman, like the team I have. It's not enough. Like we don't make money to just for athletes for them to do what they ever want with. We're not. It's way not that big. There's athletes way above me that are making a lot more than I am through parkour, for sure. Yeah,
and even I'm sure like everyone has to take these gigs and they struggle. It's constant out here because parkour is competing with every other thing that blew up with the internet in some ways, you know, and we don't obviously like you said, it's just not as big as it will be and as it can be, and so it's going to be an era where to build it out, things are not always 100% pure parkour from beginning to end. To support a career, or to support an athlete, or to support even people, just adjacent to the community that want to do something with us.
I'm at this point in my life, like I finished college. I've been out of college for like nearly a year now.
Congrats.
And I had the option to go to like university, because in England we have like secondary school, which is like your high school, and then we have like college, or you can go to sixth form, which is kind of weird. It's very complicated, but
that's how they get you.
Yeah,
keep it complicated.
Yeah, and like the back end of that is like going to university, or you can go into like work. And I didn't choose to go into university. Like university fees in England, as I'm sure they are in America, are like ridiculously expensive.
It's a disaster for so many people in our country.
Yeah,
and I don't know what the student loan situation is like in the UK, but for us, there's a huge issue with predatory, it seems like, almost the way that they hand out money to college students that are too young to really know what they're getting into, and then they're in debt for the rest of their life, a lot of them, because of all the things that student loans are the only thing in the United States that you can't declare bankruptcy on. Like, it doesn't matter what happens, you owe that money until you don't, and a lot of people can't pay it back, and the university degree is it's not worth what it used to be.
Yeah, for sure. That what you just explained is like the exact same how it is in England. Like so many people just get like misled into going onto these courses, because it's like seemed as the normal thing to do, like the moral thing, the way to get a job. That's like you have to go to university, you have to do this, and that means you'll get a good job. But like realistically, it's not the truth. And like even after I've left college, I haven't used my college grades, I haven't used my school grades. I mean, it's lucky enough that I have like found this niche of like making money through parkour and like the internet, but like
like you said, still
struggling. And like I've like gone nearly a year doing it now, and like I've even had like savings money to like help me like as a backup, but I'd like really the next like year or two, like if I really want to create a career from doing parkour, I really need to like drive and work really hard like the next year or two, like if I want to have a stable career in parkour. And like that's me like lucky enough to take that from like the position where I am like now. Like people who are just getting into this sport like will find it even harder, like,
oh my god,
because it's so
more and more competitive every year,
so saturated now. Like it's so hard to get into it. Like so many people ask like, how do you become this like big athlete, how do you become like well known? And like it's a lot of it is like starting from the beginning. Like the first people who like started making really good YouTube videos, they're the ones who are like really popular now. They're like the first people who started posting high quality content to Instagram and like cool stuff to Instagram. They're the people who have like the highest following. That's why they're doing well, because they've worked for it like through the years. It's not something you can just pick up in an instant. That's like the biggest. That's like
There's no shortcuts, right?
Yeah, that's the biggest. What do you call it? Like it's like the biggest misleading thing about parkour. Like people think you can just like have a natural talent in it and train for a month and become like really good and like become really famous and do like sick competitions and like place really well. But like realistically, you really have to work for it. And like if you want a career in parkour, then you have to work even more. Like
it's just like anything else. Yeah, it's I think that's why it's so important to just follow whatever that is that's driving you, you know, because it's going to be a struggle wherever you go. It's going to be effort and work. And like you said, if you really want to make a career out of parkour, there's going to be you're going to be up against someone who does love it. So if you don't love it, then how are you going to outwork that person who loves what they're doing?
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So like you have to love what you're doing if you want to be in that career mindset, because somebody out there is doing it for the love, and it's always important to make sure you're doing the same. Otherwise, you're not, you know.
Yeah. At the moment, like I've said, I've been traveling a lot, and like with coaching back home, at the moment I'm coaching on like a reserve basis. So like when other coaches aren't free or like want time off, and I kind of replace them, or if there's any like events and stuff, I usually coach at them. But yeah, they've offered me like regular work like every week, and it'd be like a full-time job where I'd coach every week, same class, but I'd have to be like attendant. I'd have to be attending all the time, and it's something I had to like decline because I want the kind of freedom, and I want to kind of be more of an athlete in the sport than just a coach. Yeah. Coaching is like a great way of making money, especially
it's much more stable
for like the average tracer as well. For the average person that does parkour, like that's probably the easiest way to make money from doing what you love, if parkour is what you love. And yeah, they offered me like full-time work, but I had to like decline. I had to be like, although I do like coaching parkour, like it's not something I really want to do on a full-time basis. And becoming an athlete and traveling and doing parkour and going to events and stuff and showing my talent there is what I'd rather do than just teaching the same class like every week. Although it's great to pass like parkour down to like other people, it's just like getting really twisted in it I feel like is not what I want.
I mean, I understand that completely, for sure. It's I've been on the education side of things, and I've also been torn in between doing that and the athletics and stuff, and I liked them both. And I also at certain times, especially when I was younger, I felt like this is not the thing. I want to go in the direction of and pursuing that athletic side. It's really what you want to do, you know. And I think either way, it's all about just like enjoying the process and learning from it, because you know, I don't know if you know, from where I'm at now, it's just like I feel like I don't even have to train anymore in certain ways. Like I've gotten that kind of out of me. I've enjoyed interacting, and actually sometimes your values change, and you're like, oh, you know what, interacting with the community and not that same domain feels good. And that's why, you know, I love doing the podcast and stuff like this, is because I'm like, okay, I can stay in touch with things that mean a lot to me in the community, that it means a lot to me, but I don't have to do it on such a physical way, the way that I used to enjoy it the most.
Yeah. And I guess you don't have to worry about the like doing these podcasts as like your career, is it? Do you?
No,
it's just something you do for the community. It's very nice. It's a very cool thing to do. Yeah, and to get to sit down with like a lot of cool people and
yeah. I mean, I love
dig
just
their brains almost.
pick them out. You know, I'm like that fro pick. Maybe, who knows? And
Yeah.
You're just like a.
You're lucky enough
Sweethead.
to know some legends, to be in a place like Boulder where they roll through.
I'm really lucky. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
super fortunate, and you know, yeah, it's a beautiful. It's just like cool to be a part of it. Like more and more, I just want to just continue to be a part of it. I don't
Mhm.
even really care like what success comes from it and whatever. I just like want to continue staying connected because
Do
go ahead. Sorry.
Do you find like the opportunities like for new podcasts like keep arising? Like I came into town like this
Yeah.
week and I've been listening to the podcasts like already. Like I don't know if you knew, but like the last like 2 months, I've been cycling across Asia.
No shit.
I did like a cycle tour with one of my friends who's like cycling across the world.
That's
and
epic.
Yeah, he's cycling from the UK to Australia, but he's technically finishing
UK
in
to Australia.
Singapore. But
How do you get across the ocean?
he, this is like the
Do
thing
you just
that
like on the
everyone
ferry,
says.
just like pedal the whole time? Like, trust me, I would have been covering this
Put it
ground.
on like a treadmill, like
Yeah.
yeah. No, he like cycled down to the ferry port and like got the ferry across. But it's like only 60 miles compared to like the 20,000 he's done.
Mhm.
But yeah, he cycled all across Europe, like through Turkey, and all these like Uzbekistan and stuff like this. He went through like the Himalayas. He was saying like the Himalayas was like a really rough part of
Because you're up at altitude and
his
it's like
trip.
just-
He said like altitude and just like the desertness, like yeah, like nothing for ages. Just
Whoa.
yeah, he would like often because he was using his phone for like navigation, and he didn't find like a charger socket for like days, and he said like he just had to keep this like solar panel portable charger out like all day long.
That's pretty good.
And like he would only get this like small bit of charge off it. He had to like keep his phone like in airplane mode and yeah, just stuff like that. But yeah, I cycled from Bangkok to Kuala Lumpur with him, so it was like
sick.
it's like 1500 kilometers, which was
That's a
it
lot.
was a good ride. Yeah, it was-
Yeah.
I used to do a lot of like long distance cycling when I was younger
Mhm.
with my dad, and yeah, I decided to this guy Ed, his name's Ed Hack, by the way. There you go. Shout out to Ed Hack.
Ed Hack.
The Instagram's like Hack is out there.
Let's
But yeah,
get him.
he's
Yeah.
cycling across the world. And yeah, he originally asked me to do the whole cycle with him, and I was like, I can't do that. Like,
He's just going solo then.
yeah. So, well, he's like,
He's going with.
he's had different friends along the way, like
Mm.
people who have like joined him from different legs of the
legs of
journey. He's like done different bits by himself. But yeah, I did Bangkok to Kuala Lumpur with him. I met with Annan in Bangkok. I saw Jason there. That was when he went to the hospital with Emily and found out he's pregnant. He's
Oh no
pregnant.
shit!
Yeah, he's going to be a father now.
I know, man, dude. See,
that's
this is like
going to be interesting.
that's some next
gonna-
level,
Yeah,
like-
he's gonna.
Jason Paul, dad.
He's one of the guys making it right now
Yeah.
in the parkour industry.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Red Bull and GoPro. It's like where you want to be if you're like an athlete.
Yeah. There's a few. It's very tough, and it's like they've got a really good avenue. I think some of the Farang guys
Yeah.
with the Red Bull, and
Yeah, he's done really
And
well
it-
for himself, but he's worked for it. He's
oh yeah, and
Jason
like you
is
said, he was
such
an
an
early
insane
adopter.
guy.
He was
Yeah.
first on Instagram, or
Legit.
one of the first.
Yeah, Jason
just
is a grinder. He
Been nonstop.
does work. Like Dom. Like see Dom's on
Dom
Red Bull.
Is never
Yeah,
not
he's,
on, like not going.
yeah, he's killing it. That's why he's got the career. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, met with those guys. Cycled down to Kuala Lumpur. It was a good journey. And every day, yeah, like most days I would wake up, and we were like camping most of the days as well. Like we would cycle, camp, and like wake up and just cycle. But yeah, in the morning, I'd cycle down to 7-Eleven. There's so many 7-Elevens, and we'd get a chocolate milk and like cereal.
Hey,
No, it was like
you need
iced coffee and
plenty
cereal.
of caffeine and sugar for the road.
Yeah, and I'd eat my cereal with iced coffee, and then I'd plug in the old HEIGHT Drop podcast, and I've been listening to them. And
I'm glad that we could assist you with some of our just bullshit on here. Get some good stuff in your ear, hopefully. To pass the time.
There has been times where I've just been like fully loving it, and there's also been times where I've just been like completely like bored. Like honestly, there's been times where I've just been there like it's just unrelatable topics. I think it is like not everyone's gonna relate to every topic. No, I mean, I feel that, and that's one of the beauties of the podcast. That's why I like this medium. It's like it's an interesting
free,
part of it.
Turn it off if you don't want to listen. You know what I mean?
You can just skip to the next one,
or just skip ahead or whatever. But
even sometimes it's like interesting to hear about the parts where you're like unrelatable. You might sometimes just things come up and you're like,
and you have to experiment. You have to go there. Like I have to be willing to be boring to some people to like capture somebody's else, you know, or
for sure.
And like it's fun because for me that's part of my favorite challenge about this personally. Like this is a weird thing, like I've talked about it before, but it's like it's almost a continuation of what I loved about parkour, and I still do, is the challenge and like the way that you like not just me but guests and stuff get to like explore their ideas and stuff. And
for sure,
it's
I've only listened to like, I think I'm in like 2014, 2015 now.
Oh, you're in the
I'm
the archives.
I'm back quite far. I've committed to listening to them all the way through. When I'm back in the UK, I listen to them on like long car drives and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. I love a podcast for a long car ride.
Yeah, it's perfect. I'm slowly listening through them. But I'm looking forward to the ones like you've done recently. I've seen like you've done like George and Giles and stuff like that.
Those were some of the best ones when those guys rolled through for sure.
Yeah, like I'm looking forward to hearing some of those and some of your newer ones.
Hey man, thanks for listening, man. I don't know. We really appreciate it. Like the honor is ours to have you as a listener and as a guest.
Yeah. I've seen some of the people from like early back, like Brian Prince. I was only hanging out with him like a few months ago, like for sure in the UK. He rolled through to the UK. He came to Full Lever Movement. He was down, and he was listening way back in like 2014 and stuff like that.
He had his own podcast for a little bit.
Yeah, I heard about that.
You guys started a podcast, the Brewmans.
I was talking like to him for so long, and he didn't tell me anything about that. I was so like, so fascinated when I heard that on HEIGHT Drop. That he had a podcast. He usually asked like quite a lot of questions. Have you like totally done like out with the fan questions?
You know what? It's just like been really hard for me to maintain sometimes, and I got to be on that Dom Jason grind. I got to be just grinding harder sometimes.
Yeah.
But for me, I've been trying to keep this fun, and I've been trying to keep it a little bit lighter because I'm figuring out, a lot of different things in my own life right now where I'm like, okay, I want to explore. I'm being more of like my work and effort is going into like figuring out where I'm putting all the work and effort in more than it's going into like, all right, I'm not just going to distract myself with constantly putting energy into the podcast that I don't necessarily know that I need to put there and I want to put there. So I'm on my own kind of personal journey right now where I'm doing lots of different things. I know I love doing the podcast, but for the fan questions and stuff, I just don't have the bandwidth right now to maintain engagement with like, all right, well, let's be honest, it's just a post and ask about it. But because I don't know when the guests are coming sometimes, I'm
like this one was quite spontaneous.
And it was weird. There was more engagement back then too. It's like, but for whatever reason because Facebook was more of the place for parkour people to spend time.
It's totally not these days.
Now it's like
totally
different,
switched.
and it's hard to get people to comment on an Instagram post because.
Do you have like an Instagram page? Like Instagram's like the
Instagram. I'm like.
Do you have an Instagram page?
Yeah, we do have a Instagram.
You could do like a story on it and like.
The story would be good.
And do like when you do like the questions, you could do that maybe, but like.
No, I definitely should. You know what? I'm making excuses what I'm doing right now. I need to shut the fuck up and just get to it, because I do want the podcast to grow. It's just,
it used to be such a big part of the podcast. Like
I love
the episodes like that I'm listening to. Sometimes it takes up like half the
it's
podcast.
90% of it.
Yeah. It's an interesting part,
And I like that part because that means there's community engagement too. You know.
Yeah.
Like I do want to resurge that. I tried to enact the HEIGHT Drop Hotline, which didn't really take off.
That's pretty good.
Which is like where people could call in, and then I'll play their questions over the podcast.
That would be
so
amazing.
then it's even like it's more than just a comment. Like we get to hear from them. I still want people to do that, but
high production, like take quite a.
That takes more time. You know, I'm trying to figure out in a way that I can make it sustainable with everything else that's going on. You know,
for sure. Yeah,
you know, I got to pay the bills too. So, but you know, enough energy could go into this that there could be
maybe
there could be sponsorship opportunities here. You know, if the listenership grows, that becomes an opportunity for people to get more involved. You know, and us to get more sponsors. You know, Red Bull's probably not going to hit us up anytime soon, but
these dudes. Red Bull.
I'm pretty bad at all that. Is one of the things. Like I could use some help with the production and with like the marketing and stuff. Like it's not really my forte. I like to host it and I like to just be here and talk with people more than I like to do anything.
Yeah, well,
but
I don't feel like you need to worry about all that stuff.
I do worry about it though. To be fair, I do like want it to like show
to be something.
Well, I just like, for me, I like to make things grow.
I think.
Too.
Well,
like,
I think
I like to water this. I like to like take good care of it, and I feel like,
I think like right now, like this is like the highest quality podcast there is though in parkour, for sure. Like the
thanks, brother.
And like I don't even know of many others. Like I heard of Brian Prince's, but I'd never taken a listen. And like I feel like it's a thing that a lot of people are gonna try and pick up on. I know Jars has even talked about that he wants to do like a Motus one, but like this is the most like founded one. Like where there's like one host, like you're the host, and there's like bringing like almost one guest at a time, or even like two guests at a time. That's like perfect. Like I feel like I said, like you mentioned earlier, like Brewman, we tried it and there was like 7-8 of us, but just because there were so many of us in one room, because we were so excited, we were just like jumping off each other and just talking over each other all the time, and we could never like get one like conversation going, never do any of that. Like we just didn't really work. But yeah, I think HEIGHT Drop is like the most founded and like authentic one at the moment, which is pretty dope. Like
it's really dope. Yeah,
if you think about it, you're like like one of the highest broadcasters. It's almost like broadcasting behind the scenes, isn't it? Like in football, you have like match of the day, and they talk about like what's going on behind the scenes. You're almost doing that kind of thing. Which is sick, because like if parkour like kicks off, people know like you're the man to go to if you need like commentating. I know like when I was in Bangkok on this cycle thing, when I was with Anand, he was talking about like this kind of thing. He wants to do more kind of analytics and like more like broadcasting kind of shows like Match of the Day, where they like take like matches, don't they, and they like analyze them and like show the best parts.
I don't know that show actually.
He wants to like analyze kind of like parkour and like parkour competitions, which is like really cool.
Yeah,
we suggested it should be called it's like
analysis.
Yeah, like analytics or something like that.
Yeah,
should
man.
be really good.
Yeah, no, I'd love to. I think there's so much room for that in our community. It's just like that's a whole other domain, and that's really what I love doing about this. Is like I'm like, cool, like this can be this can be a thing that exists that is parkour related, that's like helping me do what I love it to do, and also like helping inspire other people maybe to get into their broadcasting or whatever they want to do, or who knows. But yeah, no, I love commentating. I'm hoping to get back up to NAPC this year to do, and I don't know if they'll have me back, but I used to do the commentary for that.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. Like, I remember I mentioned to Anna.
Fight Giles for it now, huh?
Yeah. I remember I was like, I mentioned to Anna like you and Brandon Douglas, because I've been listening to the HEIGHT Drop podcast. I was like, you and Brandon Douglas would be like the best two like presenters for a parkour competition. If you were like, in the booth,
I appreciate the
booth, like those two would be the best. Like,
I would love to. You know what? I would love to do that. That'd be amazing. Yeah, I mean, Anon is definitely a hero for sure. I used to remember when I first started getting into training, Team Farang was like my fucking heroes. Like I just wanted to be.
Yeah, they've definitely got their stuff down.
And then, of course, I had to rep the Colorado scene a little bit.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you've got Myrmidons.
in Thailand.
Is that still going on, or is you kind of like disbanded now?
It's kind of like it's kind of been disbanded in a way. It's
yeah.
It's not like.
Did it ever become like a? Did you ever make it like an official company in the US?
Oh yeah, it's a company.
Have you?
Have
you like what do you call it now? Like dissolved it? Have you dissolved it?
It's not completely dissolved. No, there's still a shadow of a glimpse of a hope for some kind of resurgence. But really, what with that brand and stuff was me and Knox and Dylan and like the three of us like getting together, and we have not been able to get together and like do like you said, with people getting older and priorities shift and things kind of like change. Sure. And
I'm definitely
that's why
feeling
it's
a lot
so
of that.
Cool to like have that youthful energy and like that space to go out and travel and see, because it does become more responsibility and it becomes harder in some ways to keep that going, but it's not impossible. And it's definitely like something that I still have a passion for, is like producing content, producing clothing even. Like I want to get some merch going.
Yeah.
But
yeah, like I feel like I'm experiencing a lot of this at the moment. Like like as Brewman, we've come together as like a team, and inside the team there's like different like people's pathways. Like at the moment, like we can't, it's like Brewman can't really all work together, and they're not being like a functional team very well, because everyone's just kind of interested in their own little thing. Like Hector, our film at the moment, because of filming like the Brewman videos, he's got like a lot of attention for his like style of filming and his editing, and he's actually getting a lot of like production work now.
Oh, cool.
For doing like filmmaking, but that means like he can't put as much time in doing Brewman now. So like videos aren't really getting put out a lot. And clothing, like we added Jack Milnes. I don't know if you've heard of the name.
Don't know.
He's a really cool guy out of the same city as me and Max Barker and Scott.
Oh, cool.
Poole and Bournemouth down in south of England. Hey. And he's like created his own clothing thing. He did one called Half and Half, which was like half and half t-shirts, and he basically got really creative in his bedroom with like a sewing machine, and he like started like cutting t-shirts in half and like matching them with other t-shirts, and like getting quite creative. And now he's like taking it a step further, and now he's like getting really into fashion, and he's like created a new brand for himself. And he's like making clothing, and we've got this dude like in our team who's like making like top designer like piece clothing.
Wow.
Just in his bedroom with like a sewing machine and stuff, which is like really cool. But we've all got these like own little niche things that we're like kind of getting into now, and like kind of swaying our time from Brewman now into our own little personal project. Yeah, I think it's kind of beneficial for everybody, to be honest. Like, in the end of the day, like a team with like so many people in it, and like I don't think it's really going to be like amazingly successful. Like it was just one of those things. Lightning strikes, sometimes, and then when it's over, it's kind of like, it's fine. Like it's actually kind of a beautiful thing. Like everything has to come to an end, right? For sure. It's like one of those things. Like we were like really good when we created the team. Like really good friends, always training together, always doing stuff together, and it was like sick to create a team then. And it's like it was really active at the time, but like now it's kind of dropping off a bit, and like sometimes you've just got to admit like your failure almost, and move on. So maybe some yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, hey man. Well, there you heard it, folks. Merm, Brewman.
I don't know, like
They're part of the history books, maybe more than anything.
Brewman was still kind of like
Yeah, no, I'm not
be
trying
a
to
thing,
put Brewman
but
in a
it's-
box right now,
but
but
it is just like, yeah, it's not always going to have the intention of trying to be something really big, and
mhm.
I don't have the intention for it to be something like huge. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's huge. I mean, yeah, it's just like, what's the magic? Where was it? I mean, that's why it's so amazing to see something like Store happen, where that magic carried into like this huge epic brand, or Farang, even like with this, any brands that do become successful. It's very, you can see how difficult it can be for like that group dynamic to stay in flux in the right way, that the momentum just keeps carrying through.
Yeah.
But we're all individuals, we're all in our own, journeys as well, and sometimes it just means that we see something else.
What we've almost done with Brewman is it's so hard to get the kind of things like rolling, because everybody in the group is we kind of, everybody got together when we were still quite young. We were almost like 15. Max was like 14. It's ridiculous ages.
Yeah.
We were like in our teenagers, and like through the past like years that we've been together, like it's been like four years, something like that. But like through those years, we've been going through our teenage lives where like ultimately we've been changing, like as people, we've been growing up, we've been like our personalities are different now, and I think we're all kind of just like moving in different directions. We have different like opinions about things, we have different like mindsets. So like when something wants to get done, we kind of, one person will say something, and then like we can have a different idea, we can have a different opinion about it, and it all just kind of gets a bit like mixed. So it's like all just a bit too much at the moment. So I think like creating a team wise, like it's better to create like a smaller group of people who are like really connected and like focused and driven about like having the same kind of like brand.
You gotta have like that real, like, that's what I think. Yeah,
having that same brand like image, like knowing what wants to happen and like where you want it to go, kind of thing. But yeah, I feel like with Brewman at the moment, that's a bit lost.
It's tough, but hey, it's a beautiful. I mean, regardless of what happens with Brewman, like, it's amazing that it happened. You know what I mean?
Still
like,
dope friends, still. Yeah,
exactly, and that's like really what was important from the beginning, and that's what the magic was that you guys bottled. That's sure. That's how I feel about Merm, at least. You know, it's like, okay, Merm's probably not gonna come back. Let's be honest here. Like, it's not. It's never gonna be the same. We're 30 now. Like, we're fucking doing different things with our lives. It's it wouldn't make sense even to try to do it, but like we're still best buds, and we can do like
still like that was an awesome time in our lives. Like
and
sometimes you just got to move on. Like things are just old now, and like you're moving on to like new things, like changing in your life, growing up. Like
it's all part of the journey, you know. And like I think it's really cool that. Like, that's one of the things I really love about, like, Jason Paul becoming a dad. It's like, oh, like, this is so cool. Like, we have a few parkour dads, but we're going to start to, like, see family integration with
especially,
parkour.
Like, such a high-level athlete as well. Like,
oh, yeah.
Parkour's his job. Like, he's making videos, like, all the time. He's making, like, projects. Like, how are they going to have... They're gonna have to like manage having a kid now and like taking him around. They travel so much.
Oh my god!
I guess they're not gonna want to do that so much.
Well, and if he works hard now, they say when you have kids, like, fucking turn it up to a 12 for some reason, because like you're really thinking about how you're providing with your family now instead of just.
Oh really?
I mean, I don't know.
So you think
that's what the rumors
Jason's
tell
gonna
me.
come on like a work drive suddenly?
You might not be surprised if all of a sudden there's even more coming out from him.
That'd be sick. I
mean, how could you put out more than he already does? But
it's
just like,
Jason and like even like most of all the Farang guys, they've got it down. Like if there's anybody in like parkour that's really like being productive and like being active like within the community at the moment, it's definitely like Dom, Jason, those guys. Yeah,
much love to those guys. Shout out to all of them. Hopefully we can get them on as guests one day, even, because definitely I'd love to see everything they're doing in the community. Like they're
Pasha's like moved to the US now, hasn't he?
I just saw he got his visa.
Yeah, is it like I saw he posted on his story.
He's working like he must be doing stunts and stuff, and like really, who knows what they do in LA. Like
he's doing some cool collaboration stuff, like with like Instagram stars and YouTube stars. Do you see he did the one with like, isn't it like boyfriend versus girlfriend, Jesse Wellens?
Oh man, I haven't been able to.
Steve-O, he did the one with Steve-O.
I saw the Steve-O one. Yeah, that was sick. Him with and Eric.
Yeah, like they're doing some cool stuff. They're in the right place for it, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're ready.
Definitely. You know, you got to be in the entertainment capital if you want to be doing entertainment sometimes, at least in America.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I'm gonna be up in OPC as well.
Hell yeah.
In the summer. We're coming back for Woodward, hopefully with Motus.
With who?
With Motus.
Oh, with Motus. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Motus.
We just announced a new sponsored athlete.
I just saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, Jordan
Tell
Lee.
us about him.
Did you know him?
I've seen him on the gram, but I don't think I've met him.
Yeah. A lot of people. Yeah, it's kind of like an unknown dude. He's like a really talented guy, insanely talented like guy. I've known him for years. He's been coming to like events and stuff. And yeah, just not many people know his name.
Well, they're about to.
And yeah, like he's just been killing it recently. He's just like, and yeah, Breach. Did you speak to Chris?
I just spoke with Chris. That was the last episode. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know like they were like interested in Jordan because they took him on the Breach tour.
Oh yeah.
And he's just beasting all day long. And Jars has had his eye on him for like a while, and we've been saying like how much he's just a cool dude as well. Like he's total homie. Like hang out with him all the time at the events.
That's awesome, man.
So yeah, it fits in Motus like really nicely.
Hell yeah. What is what's next for Motus? Are you guys working on any big projects, or are you?
I mean, yeah, this next like year is like kind of really big for Motus. Like
really,
we have some ideas that we're really gonna try and push. We're gonna do like almost like a second resurgence.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do a video in London. I don't know how much I can say about it. Charles is gonna be like listening in, like, "Hey, how dare you? Damn it, you've released it all." But yeah, for this new Soul Destroyer collection, we're gonna make like a whole video to drop it, and we're gonna be in London for like 10 days filming.
Epic.
All together.
Definitely sure people will be. I'm hyped for that already.
Yeah, so hopefully,
the whole team.
Yeah, there's some things I want to do. I mean, like, you know, I've had it in my mind even like when we were shooting Resurgence. You know, at Baby 45, there's like a dive Kong Prix that Kai did.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you know the one? And he I know he like slipped out when he actually did it.
Hayward Gallery?
Hayward, I think, yeah. It's by IMAX, right? By IMAX. Yeah, there's like a dive Kong Prix to a thin wall. Yeah. I've always had my eyes on it. I really want to do that. But like, yeah, nobody else has done it but Kai. Yeah. I swear, yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember being looking at that thing like
scary. Yeah. I was looking at it for Resurgence, but I never did it. So that could be something I possibly want to go back and do. But yeah, I don't know, we'll do some other crazy stuff in London.
Yeah, it's like
we've got some like really unknown spots like we've found on like Google Maps and stuff.
Oh hell yeah.
By Joseph Marks. He like scans Google Maps and like finds like spots.
He's
like
just
aerially.
like zooming in through Google Earth or whatever.
Yeah, no, he does.
Or just on the maps, roadside view.
Yeah. Like
that's
satellite image. He like finds spots and like, so yeah, we're gonna hopefully film in some cool locations, get some stuff done. But yeah, we have some other projects planned for the rest of the year.
Are you guys going on tour again?
Not going on tour. We're gonna do Woodward. I think all of us are gonna go to that and do NAPC after. And then we have a project planned for after summer, which could be quite cool. I won't talk about it much.
All right, fair enough.
We'll leave it mystery.
Damn, we just got mysteries galore. You gonna come back to Guernsey?
Dude, I hope. Like, yeah, we're gonna do the Woodward and NAPC. I wonder if I can make it back up. I should make it a yearly thing. Guernsey is so dope for cliff jumping and stuff. That was really fun last year.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah. No solar eclipse this time though.
Yeah, man. That was,
Were you
I
there
won't lie.
Were you there for that first time?
I was there for the totality.
I wasn't there.
That wasn't my first time there, but that was like the only time I might get to see a totality there.
Mhm.
And that was, I'm never going to forget that. That was legendary.
Dude, if anybody ever does that cliff jump off the top, that's such a high jump.
I thought someone who was just going to go crazy during totality and just do it just because of that. Like, what if the sun going behind the moon just turns you mad and just goes, oh, I'm going to go off this. I'm sending the devil's dick right now.
It's like that Netflix show, isn't it? Like, the one where like if they see the monster,
I don't know.
they go crazy. It's like it's like the one where they Bird Box.
Oh.
They have the like the bandana so they can't see anything.
Shit. I guess I got my Netflix game is pretty low, pretty weak right now. I'm not gonna lie to you boys.
Yeah, that's like there was like loads of internet stuff about that as well. But yeah, it's a pretty good movie. It's all right.
That's cool. I'm really glad to see that you guys are working on some really big projects with Motus, because I was talking about it with Chris in the last episode, and it's like we have so much of our content coming out on Instagram right now.
Yeah.
And there's so few like really big lasting pieces that have been dropping these days, it feels like, compared to the old days or older days. And I'm not trying to be like an old man, like, well, back in my whatever. I'm just saying that I think partly what grows and provides that opportunity is like those bigger projects,
Yeah.
And the Instagram stuff, it's really good to keep things going, and it's really good for the progression, because we all get to see all the crazy shit that's happening right now.
Yeah, and hopefully this project that we're going to do after summer, we're going to try and like connect with like quite a big company to try and get it done. Like we're going to try and reach out and start pitching like ideas to companies that they want to like collaborate with. To get like more brands involved with parkour. Yeah, just to get it more pushed like commercially.
Yeah, it needs that. It needs some help. We need some assistance. We need to build bridges,
Yeah.
And then we can build houses.
Yeah, but, sure. And it's gonna, I think the athlete thing is gonna split it up a bit.
Really?
There's gonna be, I think Jars wants there to be more like concise team. And then he's gonna open up more like sponsored spots for a lot more people, cool. And like a lot more international people as well.
Right on.
But it won't be kind of like the team as it is now. It'd be kind of a bit more concise and it'd be kind of cool.
Sounds cool. Damn, man, I feel like we got most of it covered. I don't want to keep you here too long.
Good.
Had ourselves a chat. We buried fucking Merm. We
these things are so like these chats are like so beneficial even for like you and me. Especially me. I mean, like it's like just like taking like a massive, like it's almost like a brick in your brain and then just like slowly draining it. Like you're just talking about everything that's going on in your life at the moment, kind of. Or like what's happening at the moment.
Yeah, man, I'm glad you recognize that. That's definitely true. That's huge. That's partly why I think this has been helpful for me to figure out more of what, I'm really doing sometimes, in my life. I've had to like look at it through doing the podcast sometimes, which is really cool. And thank you for sharing.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks,
for sure.
Man. Like, this is super cool to have you here.
Yeah,
it's such a wild thing to have, like,
a bit deep.
We went a little bit deep. We got a little bit like, let's just unload a little bit. I just need to do a deep breath, like.
Dude, one of the like things that I've been listening to on your podcast is where you hold your breath.
Oh, really?
At the end of the podcast, you used to like hold your breath. And there would just be like a minute and a half of silence.
Really?
And like I thought the podcast had just ended. Like I didn't skip I thought the minute podcast had ended, and like I was still cycling, and I was like, like when I stop next, like I'll just change the song. And then like after a minute and a half, I just heard like, and I was like, what the hell? This podcast is still going. And they were like, dude. It was like you, Knox, and Dylan like trying to compete for who could breathe the longest, who could hold their breath for longest.
I mean, we could reenact it right now. You ready? I feel like we should do it, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't done that in a while. And I want the listeners to get a taste of that silence, because you know what? The gift of silence, it is a gift, is all I'm saying.
Like meditation.
And also I'm fucking love doing goofy shit with the podcast. So like we're going to have a hold our breath competition. You can start placing your bets now. Luke's getting some good breaths in. I got to catch up. Hold on. We have to go and I'm going to get a timer out.
I love doing this in the swimming pool. I love swimming underwater.
I have a feeling you're going to be really hard to beat because you're a really good swimmer.
I'm not a good swimmer at all.
Well, you're a good cliff jumper.
Good cliff jumper.
Okay. One more breath, and then we're going to see who's...
Okay.
Wait, exhale again. This is the last one. Ready?
Okay. I feel like I did terrible on that. Right. Brandon's still going. I feel like I did terrible. I stopped at like 39. I can't even remember. Under a minute. I'm so good.
Honestly, I'm like, I feel pretty good still. Like, I don't know what's going on. I feel like I've got a good breath going. Yo, what's up, man? But that's, dude, I'm still chilling, man. I don't know what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
You didn't do terrible. I think you had like 40 seconds.
I feel like it was the pressure build up.
Maybe it was the pressure, man.
These lights are hot. I swear I do it by myself and I last way longer, but yeah.
We'll recreate it another time again, man.
Just don't.
For all you know, I was mad cheating. We got to get like some nose plugs next time.
Yeah,
I was just thinking about that. I was like, this is like the honor system.
Yeah, well, okay. I failed myself there, but
hey, man, I've been breathing for probably a good 12 years longer than you, so don't play. You know, I think I've got the old man lung, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
I used to have asthma.
Still had a good talk.
No, that was super fun, dude.
Yep.
Thank you for coming on. Like, I really appreciate you just being here and being willing to do this and share. And
of course,
obviously, I'll put all of your information and whatever else you want in there in the description for the folks listening.
Sweet. Yeah. Plug my Insta. That's like where the most parkour traffic is these days, isn't it?
That's it, dude. But before we sign off, like, what is your opinion on Insta? I know this is like a huge topic to just like, oh, let me just casually throw it in there.
Instagram, yeah,
but like,
yeah.
I really feel like I've got a lot of dissonance with it these days. I know it's the medium. Here, I'm just giving you my shit first. Sorry.
Yeah.
I know it's the medium that like it's technology. You got to like change with the times. It's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'm finding more and more that maybe it's because I'm getting older that I just don't want to be on my phone like scrolling through things. I want to like wait till the big thing lands, or I want to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to spend less time engaging with Instagram and more time doing things or even connecting with people in real ways.
Yeah, and it's like social medias even these days are very not. It's like there will always be social medias after this. Like Facebook wasn't the first. Like MySpace, there was other social medias before that have just died out. And like right now, even Facebook is dying out. Like I had my Facebook account since I was 8 years old. So I've had my Facebook account for like 10 years now. It's like more than half my lifetime. And yeah, but that's dying out now. It's going towards Instagram. But I'm sure like Instagram will even die out. But yeah, it's weird like looking at these things that just we post like our whole entire lives on.
I guess that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like
I feel like it's just like a platform.
It's a platform, right? And that's really all I'm saying is I feel like there's space for a better social media to come about. Mm-hmm. And it hasn't exist yet. Like Instagram's still the best we got, maybe. Mm-hmm. But I feel like, and especially for parkour, it makes a lot of sense because it's so visual. But it's like sooner than later, someone's going to come along with something that I think is we're all gonna start jumping to. Who knows?
I think it could almost be like China. China have WeChat. Do you know about WeChat?
No, what's that?
It's like they have an app which they can pretty much control everything within an app.
Whoa.
So they use it to pay for things. They use it to take payment. They use it for like navigation. They use it for social media, and they use it for like ordering at a restaurant. Like you'll sit down and you'll order from your phone.
This is scary.
Like they do everything from this like one app, and like you can order like anything from one app.
But they have like those. Oh yeah, I did hear about this. This is like the social like points.
Yeah,
too, right?
they don't have like Facebook and Instagram. That's like all like banned.
That's like weird then, right? Because then it's like top down government.
Yeah,
stuff.
maybe
you have to trust you're forced to trust your.
Yeah, maybe.
I
feel like Instagram is just something again we could periodically use, maybe in 20 years. Like when we have kids, our kids could probably be using like new social media, and it could be weird, but yeah. It's a weird thing, but
it's a weird thing.
Everybody
But you're
does it,
still
so
happy.
you do it.
No, yeah, exactly. I'm pulling out. I'm pulling some of my investment out, like, but not in a way that, you know, when I create something for Instagram, I want it to just be like meaningful to me.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. For me, it's like it's weird. Like if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it the way I want to, even though it's not the right way to do Instagram.
Yeah, and there's also a thing I watched as well, which was like I said, I've been doing like work as like an influencer on Instagram, and like advertising stuff. And I saw this guy, he did like a speech, and he said, as an influencer, you're called an influencer because you influence people. That is what you are as an influencer. You're influencing other people's brains. You're inspiring people, or you're influencing people on what they do on their day-to-day actions. Like if they look up to you, then you have power like over them. So something you just want to be doing with your Instagram and your social media is influencing them in a positive way, like influencing stuff that you believe in, like your morals, and just don't influence people with bad crap that they don't need. Like like I wouldn't like I don't know how much it would take me to like be paid by Red Bull, but like not even Red Bull, but like any like I'm kind of into nutrition, like anything that's kind of bad for your nutrition that I didn't believe in. How much money would it take for me to post something for that? Like dude,
it's
they
tough.
said it was like, it's basically just, if people come to your page after they've left, are they better off or are they worse? Like, will the influence that you put on their lives, is it going to affect them in a positive way or a negative way? Like that's like pretty much the end of it for me.
Yeah. And I feel you big time.
Yeah.
I'm taking it to this other level where I'm like, do I feel like am I best influenced by spending time away from it?
Yeah, that's also the other side of
like,
it.
That's my influence right now, is like, maybe I don't spend time on it.
Yeah.
And like, maybe I'm not influencing people on Instagram, but I'm like, that's maybe the message that I'm trying to that's my value. That's my newer thing. I don't know. It's tough though, because you gotta. I like staying in touch with it. It's just like, there's just distance. I know that like with the technology, I'm getting more and more aware of like the way that it can affect your mood, your personality, your everything that like goes on in your life. If you
I think in the end it's the balance. The how much with everything in life, I think it's just finding that balance. How much of it is good for you, how much of it is bad for you, how can it positively affect you, how can it negatively affect you? Like, try and find that balance. And everybody has a different balance. Yeah.
Everyone's got that balance. Find yours. I think we found ours at the end of this episode here.
Yes.
And let's go ahead and peace out. Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you very much,
Luke, for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers, bro. Anytime.
Been a pleasure.
Peace. All right, that was it, gang. You did it. We did it. It's done. And if you want to check out those links, and if you want to subscribe, if you want to support the podcast, you know what to do. Remember to just get involved. Y'all want to get involved with this, all right? And send us any kind of information, feedback. hate comments, love comments, neutral comments, whatever you need, just get it off your chest. All right, we'll be your confidant, we'll be your target for whatever you need to get out there, because we can do that here at Height Drop. We can do that for you. So send us your messages. You can even call the Height Drop hotline and we'll get featured. We'll get a feature going. 720-295-7537. That's basically never been used, but one of these days it's going to be the biggest thing that hit the Height Drop podcast. Or, well, we don't care because we're just doing this for fun, baby. All right, I love you guys. I'll see you in the next week's episode. Andrew Obenreiter, we're going to discuss Move Mag. It's going to be dope. And I suggest you subscribe so you don't miss that. Peace.